Yo. Big man.
Man 99.
Charlie,
Man
everything
Ghana.
cool. Today I see something.
What
One of
did
the
you
funny
say?
stories to me. It not be funny in the whole situation be serious situation, but there's a part of it where be funny give me pass. So apparently there's a guy who has been arrested, a banker who has been arrested and was taken to court for allegedly stealing 12 million Ghana cedis from a customer's account. The mind-blowing was he spent 600,000 cedis of that 12 million on betting.
He wanted to actually double the money then.
No, 12 million Ghana cedis is the equivalent of about 1.2.
Yeah, they said 12 million cedis.
That's crazy money.
Yeah, but crazy money. And you spend 600,000 cedis on that.
I respect that.
On online betting.
A king. I respect that. Never settle for less.
No money chance.
Do we know the game? We know the games he's ticked on.
I really wanted to see like the slip. That's what I wanted. I don't know if he spent it like on multiple slips or if it was just one or two slips that he was hoping kind of like get a quick double of cash or something.
Hey,
it's absolutely funny to me that he spent 600,000 cedis on online betting.
That's interesting. That's interesting. The bizarre news I read this week. Kelvin, you wanted to say something?
I don't understand. Why would someone just think this way? To take money and go and stake bet with? No, Kwaku, the kind of money people want to do certain things.
Societal pressure.
This is
use it for something. Use it for something sensible.
Calvin, don't
illegal
to push potential sponsors away from our podcast. Maybe Betway or Lansdale.
We understand. But they even say bet responsibly.
Well, I agree.
Yes.
Well. Life changing man, or the BA fixed deposit or betting company.
But Kelvin, Mangana, I read this bizarre news this week, and I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but an agency called Mar de Milano operated as a legitimate event company, but allegedly organized all-inclusive packages, including dinners, clubs, and sex. Over 100 women were allegedly forced to live at the agency's headquarters and hand over 50% of their earnings to the organizers. Here's an interesting bit. Players such as Bastoni, Feliao, Vlahovic appear in intercepted communications.
This is a football agency.
No, this is like a private agency.
Oh, okay.
It's called Mar de Milano. Now, the interesting thing is that it's very similar, or there are similarities or commonalities between this and what happened in 2020 at Manchester City, where they organized something they call a Bunga Bunga party.
I think I heard about that.
No prizes for guessing, but what do you think a Bunga Bunga party would be?
We wouldn't know. What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? Well, it turns out the phrase Bunga Bunga comes from Godfather himself, Silvio Berlusconi.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for elite sex parties involving escorts, prostitutes, and powerful figures. So what happened was that in 2020, after Manchester City's 6-1 win over Aston Villa on their way to winning the trophy. And this was a delayed Christmas party that was organized. Remember, Kyle Walker was heavily involved, and I think this case, contributed to his initial divorce. Approximately 22 Italian Instagram models were flown on private jets from Milan to Manchester. Now, they housed the models at the Mere Golf Resort and Gala, right? With the event reportedly months in the making by a fixer. So they hired a fixer who organized the Bunga Bunga party for them. Pep Guardiola defended his players, stating he was very much aware of the team dinner. So they called it a team dinner, and he encouraged his squad bonding outside of work.
They flew them on private jets.
Masa, they ordered the Instagram.
Said no regard for global warming.
Global day. Global what?
Global
what?
We are trying to be green. We are trying to live green.
Listen, boys on board time. This
time,
boys on board time.
Hey, this time.
For our non-cheese speakers, we are saying the footballers are living they are living the times of their lives, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they're living life. They're living life.
Because what a time to be a footballer and to be alive. Ordering Instagram women wherever they are in the world, flying them on jets. Remember, Marcus Thuram also had an issue. He flew over an Instagram buddy, and the girl threw a fit when he was in Germany. So
Yeah.
a lot of things have
I heard
happened.
that too.
Interesting things. I'm not saying, but if you throw a bunga party and you send an invitation to a 50-50 football podcast, we are not saying we won't honor the invitation. We are just saying that we will take it into consideration, right?
Please, we have brands.
Please, Brown, there's also Man City players, no?
Well, they decided to muddy themselves, but we want to respect. We want to respect our brands.
We want to respect ourselves, please.
Yes.
Let's respect ourselves.
Those people you are talking about.
My gosh. Anyway, Kelvin, what do you have for us this week?
It's nearly 50 years in the game, 5 national teams, and now he is the man to handle Ghana's senior national team, the Black Stars. He is tasked with resurrecting, the Black Stars ahead of the biggest tournament on the planet. The name is Carlos Queiroz, and he inherited from his father an energy that doesn't lie, which he applies daily in his life in football. Wait to see how things will pan out for him and what he is expected to do with the Black Stars. He had an interaction with the entire nation, and he seems to have won a lot more over. We'll get to see if he's also won us over and the task that lies ahead of him. Welcome to the 50-50 Football Podcast with your host, Kelvin Osuanta, Man Ghana, and Kweku Savu. Today, we are breaking down everything you need to know about Ghana's new head coach, the control he's been handed, and the expectations he's walking into, whether this 4-month mission is a masterstroke or a long shot. The World Cup is coming. The seatbelt is already tight. And don't forget that things are getting murkier at the bridge. Chelsea have pulled the plug on Liam Rosenior. Was he ever the right man for the job in the first place? Or with the Blues in yet another managerial mess? Where on earth do they go on from here? Also at the top of the Premier League, Manchester City have drawn level with Arsenal on points, and the question has to be asked, is the pressure finally getting to the Gunners? Or do they have what it takes to hold on and go all the way to win? Destiny currently does not lie in their hands now. Welcome to today's edition of the 50-50 Football Podcast, a fun show. Big stories, big opinions, and no filter. Let's get into it. Yeah, gentlemen, Carlos Queiroz as the new coach.
Our man is in town.
Yes, the 73-year-old Mozambique-born Portuguese.
Fantastic.
Who's traveled length and breadth across the globe. In Africa, in Europe, in Asia, he has been everywhere. And you can trust that, yes, he's man who knows his worth. Kweku, he spoke today, I'm sure Mangana, you've also listened to that interaction. Kweku, what do you make of the man after, his comments, his reaction, and replies to the questions he was asked? Your initial thoughts on the coach Ghana has now?
I think I'm happy with the selection. I'm happy with the choice. More confident in the team now going into the World Cup. Although he's yet to even have his first training session. But I think we have a steady head leading the team now. We have a very experienced gaffer, someone who's been to the World Cup 5 times consecutively. He knows the World Cup. He knows how to navigate a group. And the interesting thing is that there is a lot of commonality between what he's done in the past, this job he has now as Black Stars coach. Because every time he's been there at the World Cup, his team hasn't been the best in the group. It's always been an underdog task for him, or an ADOS task for him. And so he's very much aware of the situation. He knows it's not time to try and implement a philosophy. It's time to get results. So find a way to get us results. And I'm very happy. Also, you mentioned something about control, which is very important. It's important who you give control to. Otuado wasn't supposed to be given that control that he had. He was very inexperienced and he didn't know what to do with that control. And I've mentioned time and again that he messed up on several occasions, especially even with something as little as the captaincy issue, which shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. We have an experienced man who's been around. He's been number 2, coached under 20 teams to glory. Let's not forget the Portugal team of Rui Costa, of Luis Figo. He coached them at the under 20 level to win world honors back in the 90s, right? And so I'm very happy. He's been South Africa boss, he's been Egypt boss, he's been Oman boss, he's been Saudi Arabia boss, he's been Iranian boss as well. So very, very happy. He's coached the Galacticos. He's been Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant for a long time during the glory days of Man United. Perhaps the most successful period of Manchester United as a club coincided with him being the assistant or right-hand man to Sir Alex Ferguson, which is no mean feat. I'm very happy. And he looks to be, the same old Carlos with the same energy. He hasn't lost it at all. He's very excited about the opportunity. He's level-headed. He says, I'm ready. But the most important thing is that, are you ready? That's what he asked the pressmen and the fans that met him. And I think we gave him a very, very, very good welcome. Supporters Union did a good job by going to the airport to welcome him. He needs to know the task ahead. And listen, this is 30 million football crazy people. 30 million football crazy people. The single thing that unites us as a country is our Black Stars.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to watching the games at the World Cup. Yesterday I was so excited when he touched down. They were playing the national anthem. I almost purchased a ticket to go watch the Panama game, the Ghana versus Panama. I already got tickets for the Boston game, which is the Ghana England, and then I have tickets to the Philly game, which is the Ghana Croatia. But I was super excited. Yeah. I wanted to purchase tickets to go to Canada just to watch the first game. I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to the friendly games versus Wales and versus Mexico. I'm also happy with something that the GFA did, keeping people like Desmond Ofei, Fatai Udauda, and John Pencil. I'm very happy for a reason. And the reason is that, listen, we need to think long term. We need to have a succession plan. We need to have institutional memory still within the Black Stars structure. Now, Desmond Ofei looks to be someone who would, in the future, become Black Stars boss. Their writings are all over the world. Even if Kweku is booted out of office as GFA boss, whoever comes in should see Desmond Ofei, irrespective of his affiliation with Keto Kweku. We've invested a lot in him. We should keep him around and build a Kwesi Appiah project like we did. Get him to still assist with other Black Stars coaches that would come, attend, go to tournaments with him, learn, and eventually take over as Black Stars boss in the future. So I'm very happy with the fact that they kept Fatau, they kept John Pencil, they kept someone like Desmond Ofei there as well. So really looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rest of the days. Good questions were asked. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen.
Well, wait to see what is going to happen. And, Hazari Koko has already gotten us into the conversation, speaking about, the coaches and all that. But let's start from his initial comment when, he was asked about his, philosophy and whether he's defensive minded. He said,
I really like his response.
Yes, after his experience.
I really love this response.
Yes, he doesn't care about that. All he cares about is to win and win. What do you make of that?
He's a winning coach. That is what he said.
Exactly.
He's a winning coach.
Exactly.
He said he doesn't really care about whether you think he's offensive or he's a defensive-oriented coach. What he is he's a winning coach. And what he thinks is when we don't have the ball, we have to struggle, we have to suffer to get the ball back. And when we do have the ball, we have to break and we have to attack. So I love that. I love that he essentially told everyone that I'm not necessarily going to play a specific style that you think I will, but I'm letting you know that attacking is important to me as well as defending. So depending on what game we are playing or depending on the situation that we are in, if we have to defend, we will defend. And if we have to attack, we will attack. And I love that he puts it that way instead of being bogged down into telling them whether he's an offensive or a defensive-oriented coach or what kind of philosophy he would like to bring. He just told them exactly that this is the mission that we have. We don't have enough time to go into the weeds of tactics and all of those things. This is the task at hand. What we have to do is get results. And in order to get results, this is the kind of mentality that we need to have as a team. So I loved that bit of it. I really loved it.
And just to add to that, it's very interesting when, like these questions are asked. And oftentimes when you look at the really experienced managers, it's as though they morph from being system coaches to becoming more results-oriented coaches, right? So when you look at the very experienced managers like the Ancelottis of this world, they morph from system coaches. Ancelotti was very obsessed with systems, trained under Arrigo Sacchi. He was so obsessed with systems that he used Thierry Henry as a wing-back in a 3-back system at Juventus. Can you imagine? Thierry Henry, right, as a wing-back, right?
Yeah.
And then now he doesn't even think systems anymore. He looks at materials at hand and he puts together a team that highlights the positives and the strengths of his teams and masks the shortcomings or deficiencies of the teams. And the top managers, that's exactly what they do. Pep Guardiola started off as, a system-obsessed manager. In the last 3 years, I've seen Pep Guardiola become a very pragmatic manager who really tries to play to suit the strengths of his team. You look at his current Manchester City side, and maybe I'm digressing a little bit, but just to give listeners a sense of what Carlos means. Look at his Man City side and how he's evolved his team now. You realize that he's very, very, very focused on masking the deficiencies of his teams and, showing the strength, maximizing the strength. And I saw that from the run to the Champions League victory that they had. When he started playing with 4 centre-backs across, he was always trying to maximize the strength of his team and minimize the deficiencies, giving the most important players the base and platform to play and win him the games. Because he knows who the game winners are. He knows it. Because think about it. Pep Guardiola, so obsessed with systems, do you think he would have signed Donnarumma 4 years ago? No chance. No chance. He signs Donnarumma 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's 2025 and he signs Donnarumma. It's 2025 and he goes on to sign Donnarumma. It's 2025 and he puts out a defense and he's looking at 6-foot defenders across. Yeah. He's no longer obsessed with people that can just play, but he's thinking about, can you win the second ball?
How do I get my results?
Exactly. How do I get my results?
Yeah. Bringing it back to Carlos, there's also one thing that he said that I really also enjoyed. When he was asked, I think someone asked him, he built his career on structure, discipline, and control. And since he believes that this is his biggest challenge, which is the Black Stars job, how is he going to manage that within the short period of time? And his answer was something that I really liked. He said he's been working 24/7 with integrity, to determine where we stand and how we prepare for the upcoming challenge. He's sure with the talent pool, he's confident we can assemble a good team to perform on the pitch, make players understand if they play as a team, they can beat any opponent. And when he went further to say that they have a team which they will leave a team in Ghana whose job will be to assess the talent within the country, as well as another part of the team that will be essentially assessing the players that are in international waters or in other teams outside of Ghana. So clearly he's already started work. And he's not going to allow what we have seen in past teams where it seems that the players are chosen for the coach as opposed to the coach choosing the players. So it is nice and refreshing to have a manager who I feel like he's going to have control of the team, he's going to have control of his selection, and he's going to have control of who plays in the 11 and who sits on the bench, and won't allow himself to be influenced by executive members or the GFA president.
Now, looking at this, Kweku, he has his core principles, and it's been laid out that every player must be ready to fight for 90 minutes. And what's with his pedigree? How does this translate? Are we going to see a team that will be pumped up to deliver at every point in time?
I think the players will be motivated. The reason why I think they'll be motivated is Carlos Queiroz is coming with a CV and a pedigree beyond the likes of the coaches that have come before him. He's coached in some of the biggest teams for some of the biggest national teams, like with the Portuguese team, with Manchester United, with Real Madrid. He has that cachet that most coaches that have come to coach in Africa do not have. And because of that, I believe that the players will feel like, okay, this is someone who can take us farther or who can add more strings to our bow to the point where those who are playing for a transfer or a move to a bigger club will feel like, there's something to prove here. And those who are already established at bigger clubs will feel like this is a manager whose ideas and whose playing style that I believe in. And I feel if we can go along with him, we will go far enough and it will be able to build my stock as a player. So I think the players will definitely galvanize and come around to him leading them. And if you listen to his press conference, all through when he landed, all through to the press conference, you realize he showed passion. You could tell he's done his homework. He's impressionable. It's very I feel like he's one of those people that the players will take to him and he wouldn't have to struggle to get them on side.
Okay. Now you look at, bits and pieces of it. I think that I was a bit surprised and I got a bit shocked with one answer where he looked like he didn't want to speak about how he wants to play, his style and all that. That set me aback a little bit because remember the same thing happened with Otto when he wasn't too clear with his game plan and we ended up, in 6s and 7s on the pitch.
Yeah, but I think he did say that, like, I think he dropped a cheeky comment where he's aware opponents
are listening.
Are listening, so he doesn't want to give too much away in terms of tactics and how he wants to play. But I think he didn't say that because there's an aspect that we have to consider in the sense that he's yet to meet the players, right? And he's yet to kind of have a conversation with them to see what kind of squad he has and which system and which formations will best to suit the players. If he goes on record and says, I want to play this way, that way, certain players feel like they don't fit into the system, that is already starting on the wrong foot with those players. So I believe he was intentional on not giving out too much away so that he can meet the players and know exactly what he can get from the kind of players he has and what systems he needs to play. He doesn't want to put certain perceptions out there already before meeting the players. And perception is reality. So if the players already feel like, oh, this manager is not going to play the way I want to play, or it's not going to give me the opportunities I think I should get during this campaign, they are going to come into the camp and they won't be so forthcoming and so willing. And that will destroy that will cause problems within the dressing room and the chemistry that we need to get into the World Cup. Because in this World Cup, when it comes to the World Cup, especially in the group stages, there's always a possibility of an upset. And most of the time, your unity within the team and every player pulling for each other is very important. Because when it comes to games where you can stay in the games for as long as possible, it's just those little things. Are we hungrier for the ball than the opponent? Are we stronger in tackles than the opponent? Those fine margins, winning the duels and then pressing and all of those things, those fine margins is where you can capitalize and then win. And for a team that is ranked lowest within our group, we would need those fine margins. So I think he answered that question very tactfully.
Very tactfully, he was there. Now, there's one thing that I think Kweku confirmed. I think for me, it helps with continuity, having Desmond, having Fatau, and having John Pencil, because it's quite a very short period. And he will need someone to give him quick notes, to give him an understanding of where the team was, how the team is moving. And then, because John Pencil is deemed as high performance person, Desmond is assistant. And for me, I think Desmond, just like Oku was saying, in the future, he has the credentials to be. His mate is Domenico Tedesco, and they are ranked around the same level. Just that maybe one of our own, maybe I guess, no prophet has glory in his own. And for Fatau Dauda, he has been working with the goalkeepers, especially our number one goalkeeper. He would give a lot of insight, as in who plays and then who stands a better chance of helping the team to win. So I think that was quite. But Queiroz was asked how he might potentially set up, and a lot of things went in there. But what does it say of a coach of that caliber, and for the players who would be coming in, and for those who did not get an opportunity to walk into Otoado's squad? Because he said that every single player would have to merit his place in the team. Now, if you look at this, for me, I deem it as, yes, now he's throwing a challenge. And even to those who thought they had, cemented positions in the team, it's going to be shaky. And I think I love this competition. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's one of the things I reiterated when in my earlier submission. I did say, I love the way he is essentially trying to get everyone on side, and even those who feel like they are outside of the selection process at this time will feel like, okay, there's a chance to get back in. And like I said, he has a strong personality, and he feels like he's not someone who is going to have the players selected for him, even with the continuity, which is very, very important because we have a very short time frame, and that is not a time that you are going to overhaul the whole coaching staff and then try and bring in new people with new methods and all of those things. It wouldn't work. So it's good that they kept the core of Otoado's team with him, and with his experience and working with several international teams and across Africa as well as in the Middle East. I think he has a lay of the land of the way football works in these areas. And it is very good in the sense that when he opens it up, like, in as much as you might think you might be out of the selection now, there is a new sheriff in town. And that sheriff is going to give the opportunity for everyone to be able to showcase their abilities and be ready to be called upon when they need to be called upon. So I'm very, very intrigued to see which players he will call upon. And just like I said earlier, he already has started work and he has the teams already looking at the players both locally and internationally. So I'm very, very keen to see who he calls up, especially for the two friendlies that we have. I want to see who he calls up, who he leaves out, because that would also inform what kind of style we think we want to play, depending on which kinds of players he calls up and the profiles that they have. So this is all very like fresh and new, and I really want to see how he goes about selecting all of those squad players and be able to kind of like bring them together and then create that cohesion within the team. That will be very, very important in our first game, because I feel like this is a World Cup where there's an opportunity to qualify. With 4 points, you can't qualify out of your group because of the expanded nature of it. So we have to make sure that within every game, we give ourselves the best opportunity to be able to win or draw, so that we can find ourselves in a position that we get to the knockout stages.
Well, hopefully, yes, sir, we get in there. If you were in his shoes, if you were in his camp, if you were in his corner, what would you do? We have, less than...
You have 49 days, right? 49 days to the World Cup.
To the start of the World Cup. And for him, the only opportunity he would have with, the players is on the 2nd of June.
Against Wales, right?
He plays Wales. But before that, he needs to submit.
22nd.
Mexico game.
Yes, but that one, he would not have the players who are, the core of the team that he may want to.
But then he would have the, what do you call it, the players
the
on
Galaxies,
the
Galaxies are
it's likely going to be
and
the
even
Galaxies.
on the locals. No.
Yeah,
the Galaxies are in camp. So
yes,
so that is what he's going to use to
you
to
get
play.
the opportunity to at least look at those players and see, okay, who has the potential to be like a fringe player for the Black Stars, someone I can bring off the bench.
Kwaku, is this giving you, any sort of doubts? We know him. His base core principles are on discipline, are on teamwork, are on team synergy. He wouldn't have ample time to be with the players and even react, because for such managers, they want to spend, some ample time with the players to understand the thinking capability, the understanding, the different moods in which players are in, so that they get in to know how best they can help the situation. Are we very much sure that
we've been here before? We've been here before.
Pick it
Calvin,
up.
we've been here before. Grant came in, and I think he also had about 50 days or so to the World Cup, to the AFCON in 2015.
Yeah,
and he came in and said, listen, no time for anything. We need to get to work. We just need to get to work. And, first game, he went with a back three system. We lost 3-1 to Senegal. The players went to him, Asamoah Gyan, and a couple of other leaders went to him and said, Andrea, you and others went to him and said, this back three system is a bit confusing. We're not used to this. Let's revert to a back four. Let's do this and that. He said, listen, I trust you. Let's go with that. Sometimes it's not so much of the tactics. It's really about believing in the figurehead and going out to play for your country and to play for the leader. Sometimes that's it really. And oftentimes when you look at or when you listen to managers that have won a lot, it's because the players want to win for them. I always say that, listen, people go ahead with saying that, oh, these days it's a manager's game. Back in the days it was a player's game. I still think it's a player's game. The players are the principal architects on the pitch. They go out there, put their bodies on the line to deliver. If they decide or if for some reason they're not at their optimum best, they will struggle to deliver. So I think him being Carlos Queiroz, there's going to be that aura around him, that respect, that authority as a figure. The players would really, really, really respect him. Unlike Otto, who I believe, even with the captaincy issue, players would have a lot of doubts about his capabilities as a manager. The players, then don't forget, these players are smart people. They are very, very intelligent. They can see through bullshit. They can easily see through bullshit. So he would rely on a lot of the old players. I don't think the squad would change so much. I think 70 to 80% of the squad would remain the same. So for a team of 26 players, about 18 to 20 of them won't change. However, we might see a few new faces that would come in to solve specific problems. Of course, we know we have problematic areas. If we ask you to mention 4 centre-backs to make it to a World Cup, it will be hard for you to mention. Ajete is a disaster. The only certainty we have in central defense is Jiku. And we pray to God he doesn't get an injury before the World Cup. Left back, we know we have Gideon Mensah. Maybe Con still stays. Right back is up in the air, it's up for grabs. Is there a return for Ali Duseidu? I don't know, right? Central midfield, it's up in the air. Like, if you put in the work, you will make it over there. In attack, it's still up in the air. If you put in the work, and when I say attack, I don't mean the wings, I mean the focal point, the number 9 position. It's still up in the air. If you put in the work, you will make it to the World Cup. So I think this is going out to all Ghanaian footballers, wherever you may be, especially those playing in Europe. I think they stand a higher chance of being called than the local players. Even with the local players, I really hope that he keeps an eye out there for at least one or two. A lot of people say, oh, no local player deserves this or that. I strongly believe that for the benefit of our league, for the benefit of our economy, for the benefit of our clubs, we should create or should carve out a position or two for our local players. And it might not necessarily 100% be sporting reasons, but it goes beyond, just what's on the pitch, the finances as well, right? There's money that flows back into the country. It's very important. It also serves as an encouragement for players to put in the work. It tells them that if they put in the work, they would be recognized, they will be called as well. So it's up in the air. If you put in the work, you will be called. I think he rely a lot on his analysts. And he said it, that his analysts are doing a lot of work, sending him data and reports on the players.
Yes, and just like what you said, he did say his analysts are behind the scenes, and he did talk about having those two teams of analysts where there will be one stationed in Accra locally, assessing the players on the local front, as well as the other team will be stationed internationally to assess those in Europe and the other countries as well. So I think he is creating that atmosphere or that idea that there is a possibility for the local players to still make it into the squad, and hopefully we might get one or two who will be added to the squad, and that eagerness and that hunger that they would have to be like, oh, if I get my chance to even play 10 minutes in the World Cup, I'm going to do whatever I can. And those are the kind of players who will fight for you.
Totally agree. Commitment has to be 100%. And listen, don't be surprised if you see someone like Andrea you back in the team. Don't be surprised. But I think Carlos Queiroz would be.
But don't be surprised if he's not.
Exactly. I was going to say he's going to be very, very, very cautious. He would want to really assess the situation to see, does he come in to destabilize? What's the cohesion of the group? What's the atmosphere with him and without him? He would think twice about it. Do I really need him? Do I need his leadership, or I can do without him? He would think about it before making that huge call as well.
We'll be waiting to see how, what that huge call means. But, gentlemen, let me just pick these thoughts from you. If you've listened to him and from what is given, where do you realistically see as progress? Where do you see as, a very good job done by Queiroz at the World Cup? Which stage should he get to for all of us to say that, yes, Queiroz has done quite a decent job for Ghana?
Frankly speaking, if he makes it out of the group stage, it's a win for him. It's a huge win. I've said it time again and again that I really don't expect Ghana to make it out of the group. But even if he does, that's a huge W for him. Ghana said something very important. You don't need 6 points. You probably need about 4. And for me, our most important game is that game against Panama. It's the most critical game. And it's important that he recognizes that as well. And he said that in his press. I said, listen, I don't want to give too much away. Panama might be listening to this. So he has an eye on that Panama game. It's the most winnable fixture, I think. And I think he's going to keep an eye on that. He would move heaven and earth to win that game. Over the years, Ghana haven't really been good starters at the World Cup. Bar 2010, when we won our first game against Serbia 1-0. Courtesy of Samuel Jan's penalty. However, in 2006, we lost the first game against the Italians. In 2014, we lost, unfortunately, to the US. In 2020, lost, unfortunately, to Cristiano Ronaldo's inspired Portugal. I hope we replicate a 2010 performance in the first game against Panama, where we move heaven and earth to win that game. The second and third games are very tricky. The Croatians, they get better as the tournament goes, ages, or as we go further in the tournament. England would have played Croatia in the first game, and they would come in as hungry lions in the second game. It's important that we do everything possible to win that first game and fight for a point or 2 or 3 if we can in the subsequent games.
Yeah, and I think Kweku has said it perfectly. Getting out of the group is, if we are able to get out of the group, that is better than what I thought we were going to do, especially with Otuado. So getting out of the group is a win, especially with some of our players being out and all of that. And focusing on the first game to be like out of the group, we have a very strong group of teams where the first, second, and third teams, in fact, all of the teams within the group qualified exceptionally well from their qualification groups and are coming in with a good record coming into the tournament. We are the weakest team inside the group. So every game for us is a final. Panama is the next weakest in that group. So our ability to be able to win that game is the most important one. And then if we're able to hold England to a draw, great. That would be a great point. and then do same with Croatia, that would be 5 points. That could even get you second in the group, considering how England and Croatia goes. So I think there's an opportunity to get out of the group. But for the amount of time that we have left in order to prepare for the tournament, it's not the most realistic viewpoint. But if we get out of the group, I can see us getting to the quarterfinal again.
Well, that is from Mangana.
Mangana, wait. Was that a mic drop moment? Cause pause. Making to the quarter what?
Quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal.
Man 99. Mangana with the prediction. Listen, well, put your retirement on it.
I already retired here.
Well, so that is that from the gentleman. And, Carlos Queiroz has made, and known what he wants to achieve with the team. And then we will be looking forward to seeing success. Trust me, he said, you be ready to suffer. And I think that, yes, just be ready to suffer for it. Now, to one of the biggest news this weekend before, we wrap it all up with, the exciting scene of, us now trying to lose the Premier League or almost losing the Premier League.
Trying.
Yes, they are trying. Ateta is trying. Yes, he's trying to lose it.
They've already taken the bouquet from the bride.
Well, let's see what happens. But, before we get to that, Chelsea, sacked Liam Rosenior after 5 straight defeats without scoring a goal. And Kwaku, I think that the first thoughts that came in mind, was this the best appointment for them at that particular time, getting Enzo Maresca off to bring someone who was in mid-table in the league, has no, record and look at the pedigree of managers Chelsea has. But let me leave it for you.
Calvin,
was he the right man for the job?
The Blue Co and the Americans are running the club like a startup. They're running the club like a tech startup in San Francisco. That's how they are running the club. Mm-hmm. And the unfortunate thing is that this is an established club, right? Companies, organizations go through cycles. There's a startup phase and there's a phase where they peak, right? Chelsea have gone through the startup phase. That was in 2002, 2003 when Peter Kenyon took charge as CEO. Claudio Ranieri finished second. Mourinho came in. They've done that. Now they've gotten to the stage where you mention top clubs in England and Europe, you mention Chelsea's name. Chelsea have become a bigger club than a lot of the clubs that we used to mention back in the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. So the approach should be entirely different. What do you mean by you have 5 sporting directors? What do you mean by you've spent over £1 billion on the squad? And who did you spend it on? On players like Romeo Lavia, on players like Garnacho, on players like Liam Delap, on players like, I don't even want to mention Chaluba's name, but Tosin Adaribayo or whatever his name is. And then you go, you sign Brighton's 3rd choice goalkeeper and make him your number 1. How do you go and sign Rob Sanchez, Brighton's 3rd choice goalkeeper, and make him your number 1? How? How do you go to Brighton? How many players did they sign from Brighton? Was it 4 or 3?
I think it makes no sense. Yes, 3 of them.
Roman Abramovich would be tearing up wherever he is. He would be so sad because how they bullied him, took his club that he built with his own sweat and tears and blood away from him. It's so sad how they run Chelsea into shambles. Think of the appointment that they made and the whole strategy behind it, telling us that they are signing players based on data who would peak in the next X number of years, and you put them on 8-year contract. And because of more, they thought they were doing me. See, the template of running a big club, it doesn't change you. The template of running a big club is, first of all, your philosophy and your North Star must be to win. That's number 1. Number 2, you should also sign top players. That's what Chelsea did. At some point, Chelsea had about 7 captains, 7 national team captains in their club. Now you go into Chelsea's club and there's no leadership. It's a bunch of kids running around. There's simply no leadership in the club. No one who has won it all to tell them how to do it. And you think you can compete and win? Hell no. I think they got confused when they won the Conference League, which in all fairness, they shouldn't even be playing in that competition in the first place. So first of all, you shouldn't even use it as a yardstick of success to say that, per your metrics, you started achieving success. No, you shouldn't even be playing in the Conference League in the first place. We don't think that because you won the Conference League, your strategy is correct. Number 2, you play a glorified preseason in the Club World Cup and you beat PSG in the final 3-0 to win the trophy. Granted, it was a good final. You won it. But then don't lie to yourself. The real measure of your team would be reviewed in the league. And they've been badly exposed. You look at the Chelsea team and you wonder where the goals are coming from. You look at the Chelsea team, and I remember, leading up to the the Club World Cup, I was so ashamed, by the result, because I could swear Chelsea were going to be battered PSG, because I had seen Chelsea play. I'd watched them live in Philadelphia. I thought they were going to lose. However, they found a way to win. And a lot of them got confused. They thought their team was ready. That team has never been ready. That team wasn't ready then. Well, I wouldn't say they fluked their way to a title, but perhaps Enzo Maresca squeezed water out of rocks. The owners need to take a step back and rethink everything that they've done. How they've wasted £1 billion, and you can't even see who the real superstars are. If we talk about Caicedo,
sorry,
it's probably Kudus Akpong and Terry. Kudus Akpong and Terry. They are the Chelsea fans. They are holding my throat.
The Chelsea fans are.
They don't want me to fire them.
But just appoint Terry, please. We beg you, leave him, man. We beg you.
But yeah, the whole strategy is wrong. It's not just a poor appointment. It's about the people that made the decision to appoint the coach. They also need to face the wrath of the supporters. They need to channel the wrath. The supporters need to channel their anger at the leadership. We should start seeing protests of blue coat out at Stamford Bridge. And I'm very passionate about Chelsea because in our formative years growing up, Chelsea became that force that really, really, really went toe-to-toe with Manchester United during our glory days, right? Arsenal started, but Arsenal weren't consistent. Arsenal would win, would take over, they would win, would take over. So they won 3 during that period. But when Chelsea came with Abramovich, Manny, Mourinho came, for 2 seasons straight, we couldn't win the league. And we had to move heaven and earth to win the league in 2007. And when they got their acts right together, they came at 10, right? So Chelsea have been a force to reckon with. We couldn't beat Chelsea in the Premier League for a very long time. So I remember the days where they were like our main rivals. And so it hurt me that they've reduced themselves to who they are now. Because they went through tough times, but they still found a way to win football games. They still found a way to be competitive, especially when Lampard took charge, when they had that transfer ban. They found a way to be competitive then. They found a way to be competitive. They brought in Tuchel, they won the Champions League, only for them to bring the club out of Abramovich's hands. And look at the strategy. If you can tell me what the focus and strategy of Chelsea is now, I'll probably give you $100. But yeah, I am. Yeah, and
young money.
No, one more thing.
Yeah, I know he's going to send it without me answering. Don't worry.
He's
feel made a promise.
No pain or any affection for Liam Rosenior. He totally deserved the sack. He's a black man, and we are supposed to support black men who make it to the top. Vincent Company is doing very well. We are happy for him. But Rosenior deserves to be sacked, and he deserves it because he was tearing his fellow black man down. He was a pundit at some point, and he made this categorical statement about Paul Pogba, a fellow black man who is supremely talented than Liam Rosenior could ever be as a footballer. He said, you look at Paul Pogba and he makes every player around him worse. Those were his words. And it was at a time that Paul Pogba was facing constant criticisms from English media and English pundits. And Liam Rosenior went on TV as a pundit and said Paul Pogba made every player around him worse. And so he's been given a chance that he didn't even deserve to manage Chelsea, and he's been sacked. Can you imagine? They gave him a 6-year contract, and he's been sacked in 100 days or less?
It's crazy.
Yeah, so, for the Chelsea situation, it has nothing to do with.
But where do we go from here?
Listen, it has nothing to do with the solution is either Bluco hands over the football operations to people who actually know football, or they sell the club to someone who is actually interested in doing football right. Their problem is with the leadership. Once the leadership who make the appointments are wrong in the first place, there's no appointment that you can make right. It's just going to be an endless cycle of people coming in and going, signing lifetime contracts and getting paid compensation packages, north, south, and east. So Bluco has to get their act together in terms of how they want to run the football club and how football is done in Europe as opposed to whichever model they are trying to use. And then if they can't get their act together, then they need to hand over the football operations to people who can actually do the job. And
talking about that now, McFarlane is going to take over till the end of the season. We've seen some players already indicating they are free, including Cole Palmer. Do you see Chelsea finishing? Do you think Chelsea will finish in a Champions League position?
I don't think so. Listen, the only way Chelsea makes the Champions League, the only way they made the Champions League spots would be Aston Villa winning the Europa League, which gives them automatic qualification into the Champions League.
Yep.
Other than that,
So
I don't think their performances can take them to the Champions League. They need to rely on someone else.
Yeah, I mean, they would need help from the other clubs above and below them to be able to get into the Champions League. But it's 5 games. Whoever they've brought in, and with the players indicating they are free and all of that, maybe whoever is coming to do that interim job might be able to put together a team and put a team out there that can at least get some results, and then they can hope that either Liverpool and the teams below them can drop some points. Aston Villa win the Europa League, and then they are able to get into the Champions League. It's a tall order.
The boys, they've checked out.
That's what it is.
The Chelsea boys, they've checked out. They've completely checked out. All they're thinking about is keeping themselves fresh for the World Cup. That's all they're thinking about. They don't care. Those who are going to the World Cup are trying to keep themselves fresh. Joao Pedro trying to keep himself fresh to lead the attack for Brazil at the World Cup. The rest of the boys who know they wouldn't get any World Cup call-up, they're also getting themselves fresh for summer. Like they are getting ready for bunga bunga parties this summer.
Yeah, not correct you.
Maybe that happens, but that is that. I think yes. Chelsea, nobody cares. They can rot wherever they want to be. But let's get into the team that is disappointing. My own Arsenal. I
don't think anyone can analyze Arsenal more than you, Kelvin.
Yeah.
I know you've said it, time and again on the pod that Arteta is just not it. Mangana has said that this is his ceiling. But what really, really bothers me, and I can't seem to wrap my head around, is the fact that within the span of 12 days, you guys blew a 9-point lead. As at April 10, you were 9 points ahead of Man City. 10th April, you were 9 points ahead of Man City. By April 22nd, you guys are equal on points. And now you're going to rely on goals that you struggle to even score yourself. Like, you guys struggle to score goals. You struggle to score goals. So how do you expect to go on to win the trophy just by goal scored?
But I think that should have been the least shocking thing to you. them losing, because it's not like just this iteration of the Arsenal team. You remember in Arsene Wenger's time, I think it was the mid
2009.
I think it was after the 2010s. But they were in all 4
2009. They had Nelson and the rest. Yeah.
And within 11, 12 days, they were out of all 4 competitions. That is the kind of club they've been for a long time. And like I said, he has already handed the bouquet over. So Arteta has the bouquet now, and he's just going to follow Pep on his coattails.
Listen, I need to make to make another bold declaration and concession. This is like a concession, right? And perhaps my mic drop moment. Listen, the Premier League has really been a farmers' league over the past 10 years. Really, it's been a proper farmers'
Pep has
league.
Dominated.
Honestly, like, he doesn't even need to try. Think about this season. He didn't even need to try. Do you know he's likely going to win the league with perhaps the least number of points he's ever won a title with? I think the most he can make this season is 85 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
85
That is
points.
the most he can make.
85 points.
Yes.
Like, he didn't even try so hard. This is a season he really stumbled. He struggled. He couldn't find a team. He kept, tinkering. And I told you guys, listen, don't give Pep an opportunity. He's the best finisher of a league season I've ever seen in my life. Last season, he would have finished out of the top 4 spots. He wouldn't have made it the Champions League, but he finished so well that he had a good run in the last 8 weeks of the season, and he finished 3rd. This season, you guys, as at April 10, you were 9 points ahead of Pep. And you just, give it to him on a silver platter. And listen, it's been a farmers' league. It really has been a farmers' league. There are several arguments we can make that, a lot of the top teams have been through phases of rebuilding. They've been through those phases because of their own decisions that they've made. Some teams made decisions based off of the fact that they wanted to play like Pep, which to me was extremely, extremely stupid and foolish. To think that instead of winning, you want to play like Pep, you would always concede a title to him. If your strategy is not to win and is to replicate someone else's style of play, and that's what's going to lead you into. So it's been a farmers' league.
But Arteta hasn't been playing. Arteta has decided not to go the Pep way. When he went the Pep way in 2022, 2023, nothing came out for him. He decided to make a switch, which I think was the worst for any coach to do with the kind of materials he had. And he's given it away again.
I mean,
I think it's an Arteta problem.
I mean, it was obvious.
I don't see any other man. If you put Eddie Howe in this position with the kind of games they played, and those were winnable games. Like they weren't games Arteta had to drop points.
Honestly.
Look at the game against Liverpool are in their worst moment of their lives. Look at Manchester United. Carrick had just picked up the team, and I think it was the second game. Carrick.
Yeah. He rocked up to the Emirates and he won.
At least get a draw at home.
For
he played against.
I give Arteta a pass because the same team also rocked up to the got a Man City team and also lashed them. So
because Man City were struggling. Man City were really struggling. They couldn't find they didn't find the right balance. They were struggling at the time.
City had a very
established argument for Arteta.
No. There's no argument to be made. No. Arsenal have been an established side. For the past Kelvin, 4 years, they've been an established side.
See, Kelvin. This is what I'm going to tell you. Regardless of outside of the trolling and all of that, there is still opportunity. Like we've said, this City team is not like, I mean, they are percolating now. They're still winning, but not. See, they are not as convincing as we would like them to be, and the fixtures that they have, they could get a couple, one or two draws.
It's over.
I believe that. I believe that you should have a team meeting.
Arsenal haven't won a game in the Premier League for over a month. You expect them to go ahead and win the next 5 games, but Man City is the one you expect to drop points.
Mangana, what will happen? Yeah. What would have to happen? Manchester City to lose the league title to Arsenal. And I don't see Pep Guardiola losing this title to Arsenal.
I am saying,
I don't see it happening.
Have confidence in your team and your manager. You need to hold a team meeting.
This one is beyond team meeting. This one is beyond team meeting. Kelvin,
a manager doesn't know how to select a squad.
I have faith in
This is beyond team meeting.
I have faith in Arteta.
This one. You people,
I don't have faith in Arteta when he's making
I know the solution. I know the solution. You people should call Reverend Elvis. It's beyond what happens on the pitch.
Kelvin, we are going to bring in Tom Brady, Tiger Woods. Which other sporting excellence is there left? Serena Williams. We're bringing all of them because we are going to give you a TED talk, and the players will get out there and they will win the next 5 games.
You've not won a game in the past over months.
If a team has legends in players who won the invisible era, and they cannot churn out any positives from them, then it's useless going to bring all these people from other sports. And I think that it's all because of a manager who is being stubborn and failing to do the basic things. I see Carrick pick up his team. I see, Brighton's manager, Hedzler, though he has, he picks out his team, and, you look at Man City now. Pep Guardiola doesn't virtually do too much. He's putting players in their rightful places. Semenyo on the right, Doku on the left, Ellen Haaland there, Bernardo Silva, Rodri. They are the simple things but why is Arteta tinkering and struggling? Who buys a centre forward for that amount of money to solve his goal scoring problems? He's currently the team's leading goal scorer and puts him away. It's like telling Real Madrid to put Vinicius somewhere else. It won't happen. Or Kylian Mbappe to put him away. It won't happen. So I think it's the manager himself has to answer questions. But that is the Arsenal for you. They were even giving him a contract extension. Well, let's wait to see. 5 more games to go for both teams, and it looks.
But you guys deserve it, though. Your fans deserve it, Kelvin. Your fans deserve it. I heard Ian Wright. I heard Ian Wright saying that. Listen,
he himself is shaky.
After everything that has happened, this man goes to sit on his podcast and says that, well, if Arsenal wins the Premier League, definitely, Declan Rice should be Player of the Year. And if Arsenal wins the Champions League, Declan Rice should be Ballon d'Or. I'm like, wait, do we watch the same Arsenal? Do we watch the same games? Because even in the Arsenal team, he's not the best player over there.
The English agenda. Now, the last 5 games, Crystal Palace, Manchester City, a date is yet to be determined for that particular game. Everton, they play Everton away, match week 35 at the Hale Dickinson Stadium.
It's not a fortress.
Brentford at home. Yes. Brentford will be playing at home against Man City. City play at home.
City play at home, yeah.
So against Brentford.
Easy win.
Yes, against Brentford. And then there is Bournemouth away.
Bournemouth
trying to get into Europe.
Bournemouth definitely would have a clause in their contract with Man City that if Semenyo wins the title, they would get a bonus. I'm sure they would have a clause in there. Your guess is as good as mine. If 1 + 1 is equal to 2, then 2 + 2 will be what?
So you think they will take the bonus? They will take the bonus than trying to get into Europe?
Which Europe? Please.
The bonus has to be bigger than what they get if they get into Europe.
I'm telling you for a fact.
Yes, it has to be bigger.
I'm telling you for a fact that they would find a way to get to Europe. And it wouldn't be through, they wouldn't have to wait for the last game. They wouldn't have to wait for, especially with Aston Villa Aston Villa is likely to win the Europa League.
But that game played at the last game of the season.
I think Forest would give it up for Villa to win because Forest needs to stay in the league. Now they are just 5 points above Spurs. Yeah, I don't see Man City letting the slip away.
Okay, so Arsenal, Newcastle on Saturday, week 34.
You guys will draw.
At the Emirates.
Or is it news?
So Fulham, Arsenal still plays Fulham at home.
It's a London derby. Anything can happen. But the games against Fulham, Arsenal usually finds a way to win.
All right. West Ham United away.
Another London
week
derby.
36.
West Ham United need to stay in the league.
Arsenal win.
I think West Ham would find a way to draw that game. Because now they're just 2 points ahead of Spurs.
They'll be back at home against Burnley.
Oh, Burnley are already gone. They are already gone. They cost me a lot this FPL week. A triple captain Haaland. I expected a hat-trick from Haaland. First 5 minutes, Haaland scores a goal. I thought he was going to feast. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Burnley are gone. I would win that game. Listen, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't see Arsenal winning the next 5 games. They've struggled to win, a game over the last month. I don't see how they're miraculously
Man City winning all the games.
But look at their last 5 games here. Look at their last 5 games. They've drawn 2 and they won the last 3. Arsenal, on the other hand,
and you know one thing that would actually rejuvenate them.
What?
After playing on Saturday, they won't play any game until the 4th of May.
That's Man City, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
And they would have more than 8 days to rest before that. Next game against Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. But gentlemen, before we call it a wrap, what do you have to say about Leicester City? It is catastrophic.
Yeah, and
our own
next
guy.
Next of kin. I was telling Man City. I was telling Man Ghana this. Next of kin. Next of kin for more to susu san. Next of kin. Inheritance. Have you seen what he's done to the father?
Yes, I know.
This man built this Leicester City club out of nowhere. They came and won the English Premier League title. How many years ago? About 10 years ago. They won the title 10 years ago. The most romantic story ever in the Premier League. Just 10 years ago, they won the Premier League. You conspired against yourselves to get relegated, and you mismanaged affairs at the boardroom, and now you've been docked points and you've been relegated again to League One. What a shame. What a shame. And I think the leadership, heads must roll. I mean, I really believe in people, facing consequences for their actions or inactions. I think there's a leadership problem. The recruitment was very, very terrible. And it's very evident when Brendan Rodgers was there, they didn't support him enough to really refresh the squad. And all of a sudden, they decided to go the Belgian route, bringing in a lot of Belgians. So you remember they brought in Faiz. Remember that tall defender?
Yeah, Wout Fast.
They brought in players like him. They brought in young people like Hamza Chowdhury. Come on, man. Come on. You just won the Premier League just a few years ago. You should invest properly in the squad. At least we know it was a fairy tale run. You couldn't replicate it. But find a way to stabilize your team and be a mid-table club. Be a mainstay in the Premier League, right? We have mainstays in the Premier League now. We know they will always be there. Bournemouth came in and they found a way to be a mainstay. They went back, but they found a way now to be a mainstay. Find a way to be a mainstay. I mean, which other team can we think of as a mainstay that has been in the Premier League for the last 10 years? Let's even think about someone like Newcastle. After being relegated, they got back and they found a way to stabilize themselves and remain in the Premier League. Right? I feel so sad, and I really hope players like Fatah Wishahaku would find a team and not go to League One with them. Fatah Wishahaku doesn't. He has
the World Cup as an opportunity.
Yeah, I think even his performances
to showcase himself.
Yeah, his performances alone in the Championship should earn him a move. Honestly.
Oh, that will get him a move, and he might get a move to stay in the Championship. But if he performs well on the world stage, he might get a move to one of the either the Premier League team or any of the top 5 league teams.
Yeah. Top 5, no. Maybe like a stable Premier League, I think he can get a move to a Fulham because I think he can challenge Harry
I'm not talking
Wilson.
about a top 5 club. I'm saying top 5 league, which means
okay,
Premier League, La Liga.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think a move to a Fulham would be nice for him. He can really battle it out with Wilson on the right over there. But again, I think let's not skip Tottenham Hotspur. They still haven't won under De Zerbi. They are now, firmly.
We will win.
I didn't know you speak French. You spoke French, but
we will win.
They are now firmly in the relegation zone. They are 18. That's 2 points below West Ham. But taking a look at the fixture,
I don't mind if they sink. I
really want them to sink. I really want Spurs to
stay in the league.
I want West Ham to
stay. Percolating will stay in the league.
Now they are going away to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I think that could be their first victory. Well, Wolves, their fate has been sealed.
We are winning.
Wolves have their fate sealed. They are gone.
Wolves will get a draw.
And
Wolves will get a
West
draw.
Ham on the other hand have a tough game against Everton, but thankfully it's at home. Thankfully that game is at home. Everton really don't need the points. They are 10th. They are going to be fine. So yeah, we
are winning. And when we win that game, we'll win the next 3.
You win the next 3. The next 3 would be against Spurs. Would play. Give me a minute. Let me see who Spurs are playing after they are playing Aston Villa. Aston Villa needs that point. They need to stay within the Champions League. They're going away to Aston Villa. I don't think they win that game.
That's quite a tough one.
March week 36, on the other hand, they are playing at home to Leeds. Leeds, although they have 40 points, they still would want to make sure that they are safe. They have 40 points now.
We are winning.
They have 40 points now. They are 9 points ahead of Spurs. And then after that, the third game would be, you said next 3 games, right? The third game would be, come on, they're going away to Chelsea.
It's a win.
That's going to be an interesting game.
That's the easiest win. That's the easiest win out of all 3.
My goodness.
That's going to be an interesting
Chelsea
game.
For Omudia go make me debate.
I swear.
I'm not even kidding you. The Chelsea fans.
Antonio will kill me.
Yeah, that's the truth. They could sing.
Listen. If they don't take time, they might finish 12th. They might finish. Yeah.
Because they're just a few points.
That is a huge
away from Bournemouth.
They are,
what they call it, Brentford. They are all just a point away.
48 points in same number of points as Brentford. Brentford have a game in hand, so when they win that game, they could move past Chelsea. Now 48 points. Everton have 47. Sunderland have 46. Fulham have 45. All of them have one less game than Chelsea. So if they should get points, they could easily go above Chelsea. Chelsea have. Chelsea,
but gentlemen, before lots of the players are getting injured. It's quite strange getting into the World Cup.
That's a concern.
Yamal and Serge Gnabry is going to miss the World Cup.
Oh, it's confirmed. Serge Gnabry is confirmed.
Yeah.
He released a statement himself.
Oh man, that's sad.
Yeah,
that's
he said.
sad.
I think he's torn a ligament.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah,
he's either torn a muscle or a ligament.
That's sad.
So it's
quite, Lamine is also a torn muscle, right?
Yeah, I really hope Lamine is fit. I need
Lamine is going to be ready in time for the
torn
muscle.
I think he should take it easy and not play the first couple of games, because a torn muscle, coming back from a torn muscle, will take a bit of time for him to feel.
Yeah, if they're rushing,
Dr. Mangana,
really going to affect
experienced orthopedic surgeon and also specialist in sports science.
Gentlemen, I know in the coming weeks, we would have a lot to talk about. Asante Kotoko, the CEO-ship is getting stronger. But I'm sure by next
week,
we
have a name?
We'll get to see. Yeah, the names popping up. Dr. Tremensa, yes.
Come on, doctors.
Yes. Who was the CEO of the Hill? Konfanachi, Mozart. Yes.
That's interesting.
And then there's Fred Achi.
Achi won't make it. Achi won't survive a day. Achi won't survive a day. Just based off of, past statements he's made.
Yeah,
he won't survive
exactly, and it looks like some of the he's not popular among some of the supporters.
That's what I'm saying. He won't survive a day. I think for his own sake, he shouldn't even get close to the job. He should look elsewhere. See, that's the thing. The devil the evil that men do lives after them. He thought at the time perhaps he would never want to lead Kotoko. Yeah, but sometimes we need to be very, very careful about statements we make and how we chastise and the commentary that we give around people and what they are doing. I don't think Achi should consider himself someone for the Asante Kotoko job just based off of the fact that things he said in the past.
Well, wait
Tell
to
me
see
one more
any
thing.
final comments.
Who are the Galaxies playing?
Yeah.
I know they are training now, but who are they playing?
Yep. I think they'll get back to their class for next week, and then a chunk of them will be making the trip for the Mexico game.
Oh, okay. So this session is...
So is the reason why,
okay. I really hope
Calvin
makes it. I really, really hope he makes it.
Well, let's wait and see.
I worry for someone like
been...
Alex Boache. Alex Boache, he really shouldn't have been a centre back. He should have trained as a 6. The first time I watched him, he played as a 6. The very first time I watched him,
I think
he played as a 6. His height alone won't help him. For someone his size, and you need to be extremely good, Cannavaro level good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To make it, to the very, very top.
And even with that, Cannavaro had that aerial prowess too.
Exactly.
It was
like,
difficult.
You need to be extremely
it was difficult
good.
beating him.
Yeah, you need to be extremely good.
Alex has those traits, but as to whether he would be able to battle it at,
that's
international
level. That's the concern. He really should have been a 6. He really should have specialized as a 6. But it is. So
let's wait
and
see.
It is what it is.
Let's wait and see what happens. Mangana, any final comment?
Doctor.
But the doctors who have come in haven't done bad. Dr. KK Sapon did the same.
Have they done good? Where Kotoko is now?
Who is the other doctor? Who is the other doctor you are talking about? It's just.
And he said, I'm going to for another doctor.
And I said, I want you know, I'll say,
and so they be out the operating tables.
No. The fans won't let the team survive.
A club should be able to run itself. The way the club is operated, is a problem. How can you sell a whole team and then what do you call it? And then register a whole new 30 in one league season?
If you don't have money, to keep the players, they will go. They will always go.
Anyway, my final words would be: I'm calling on all football fans, all Arsenal haters. This is a final funeral right announcement for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. We are all meeting at Manchester City Stadium at the Etihad, the final game of the season, to celebrate Man City's title and also mourn the death
of
Arteta and Arsenal Football Club.
Arteta is winning it. It will not happen. Arteta is winning it.
Everyone is alive.
Come on, Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Come on, you Gunners.
That is how we wrap it all up about today's episode of the 50-50 Football Podcast. From Carlos Queiroz's arrival in Accra, the weight of the nation's World Cup dreams, to the title race heating up at the top of the Premier League. Chelsea's managerial carousel spinning once again. It's been a full house today. And also talking about, the World Cup dreams of certain players who are going to miss out, and whether Tottenham Hotspur can keep themselves in the Premier League. Leicester City, yes, that ownership proving that if you have money, you need to spend it today before the next of kin will come and misuse it. A massive thank you to everyone who tuned in. We hope we gave you something to think about, something to argue about with your friends, and most importantly, something to come back for. If you enjoyed today's show, share it, rate it, and leave us with a comment. It means the world to us and helps the 50-50 Football Podcast family to keep growing. Find us on all your favorite podcast platforms and stay connected with us on social media at 50-50 Football Podcast on the latest football conversations. This has been Kelvin Osuanta, Mangana, and Kweku Safo, reminding you that in football, just like in life, the margins are always 50. Until next time, keep listening, keep debating, and never ever lie to football, as Carlos Queiroz and his father have said. We'll see you same time next week.